Cheers, welcome to my channel. This is a timely tarot oracle reading about random shift. If you resonate with the title and or the thumbnail, this is the perfect reading for you, delivered at the perfect time in timely fashion, courtesy of the universe through the language of synchronicity. This is a collective or general reading, so parts may or may not resonate. Keep that in mind. Keep what works for you, leave the rest. Also, this is a timely reading, which means that if you're watching it at this time, it is the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it's been some time since I've posted this, what was going on in your life then, that will give you further clarity as to your situation now. We're going to begin with the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck. And we have reconciliation. So this is the Six of Cups. So the Six of Cups is a card of reconciliation. Now, reconciliation would assume that you would need to have forgiveness first. Forgiveness paves the way for reconciliation. But just because you forgive someone doesn't mean you want to reconcile with them. So forgiveness implies reconciliation, but forgiveness is actually for yourself. When you forgive, a lot of times you're forgiving yourself along with the other person, just for being involved in them, just that you were, sometimes we find that hard to accept. And it doesn't say, oh, I condone your actions or I want to hang out with you. It just says, I forgive you. And you don't even need to tell them you forgive them. Reconciliation is a different matter. That's when you want to you want them to be in your life again. And this sometimes can also represent just a reunion also, like a high school reunion or getting back with your family and reuniting with family members, etc. This energy, the Six of Cups, is a bit of a card of an illusion because of the reconciliation factor and the fact that it means that you're going back into the past. It quite often can represent illusions around your childhood. And this, when you look at this card at first, you think, oh, there's some kids playing in the yard and they're playing with these potted flowers and someone's watching over them. But then when you look more closely, you realize, hey, that's a gnome and that's a little lady. And, this little lady, when you look at her from the front, she looks like she's young, but when you look at her from the back, she's an old hag. And she's wearing this little white mitt, which means she doesn't want to get her hands dirty. So she doesn't want to accept these flowers. But this is representing if you're a people pleaser or not. The old hag, she's learned already, just to say no, and she's no explanation necessary. Whereas this young woman is, the younger version of her would be a people pleaser and would be nice about it, but doesn't want the flowers. She doesn't want to get her hands dirty. And the white flowers in tarot represent innocence. But these flowers are anything but innocent because these flowers are from the nightshade family, and it's actually a plant called Datra. And Datra is highly, highly toxic, especially for young children and pets. So you would never let children play with these flowers. They're very beautiful. They have these beautiful trumpet-shaped flowers, and they flower continuously, and they flower overnight. So when you wake up in the morning, they look absolutely beautiful. But they're very toxic to children. As Datra sometimes is used by shamans in their ceremonies with plant medicine to bring about visions for people so that they can heal. But these shamans have been doing this for ages, like centuries, so they know the correct dose, and it would only ever be for adults. And so the other part of this card that's an illusion is this person in the back is actually walking away. So the whole thing is just like an illusion, really. And that's sometimes how our childhood is. We don't really always have our memories straight, and we can't remember what happened to us. Generally, most of us in the first, when we're babies until probably around the age of 5 or 6, we start having memories. So this is talking about that. You might be wanting to reconcile with someone, and we'll see. there we go. We have the moon, and so the moon is coming in, and it's also a card of illusion. So this is life of illusion here, living a life of illusion. So this is the lobster here represents someone climbing out of the emotional waters. Water in tarot represents emotion, to get on their destined path, and they have to make themselves vulnerable, and that's the point of this, to be able to get through, passed by this domestic dog and this wolf. And so both of these are howling at the moon, and they have to sneak by without being seen, because it could be very dangerous for them otherwise. And so sometimes this can represent the push and pull between your domestic and your wild side. So you might be have been really domestic and isolated and need to get out more, or you could be someone who's been a wild child and it's maybe time to settle down a little bit. The idea is to keep between these two pillars and be able to move through. We have the sun, we have the full moon, and the new moon, all represented here. So this represents eclipse energy, as well as the full moon and the new moon. So the full moon is a great time to make sure that you've released everything that didn't work from the last full moon, when you did a bunch of work on yourself to be ready to move forward. And the new moon is when it's time to plant the new seeds of new adventures. So a lot of this energy with the moon is about secrets, hidden secrets coming out, that kind of energy. And then we have a passion for new discovery. So the Ace of Wands is a gift from the divine, collaborating with the universe to deliver the gift of passion for new discovery. This is the element of fire, and this represents passion. So this could talk about moving forward with passion now. Maybe you've been in kind of sitting in the past, or like, I'm getting this energy of not getting out much, and now you have a new passion for discovering life again and being out and about and meeting new people, that kind of energy. We have it's an energetic upgrade. So the energetic upgrade, the magician is representing the magic of life. And this is talking about the magician brings from the heavens their thoughts, basically. And this uses his wand to bring that down to the earth. So he's pointing as above, so below. And this is talking about using your abilities to be able to bring, to create a beautiful garden on planet Earth. And that he has all the tools that he needs on his bench here. And he's got this infinity symbol above his head, which is representing infinite potential to the power of infinity and beyond. Around his waist, he has an Ouroboros, and the Ouroboros is a snake biting its tail. And it's warning not to hang on to the old, just like the energy of the moon, to release it. And so that you can, you can't, if you're standing at the buffet of life, with the leftovers on your plate, the food's not going to be as appetizing as if you walk up with a new plate. And then we have the energy of the Wheel of Fortune turning. So yes, this is really talking about a major upgrade after some sort of need for forgiveness and possibly reconciliation. So this is talking about the Wheel of Fortune, is saying that your fortune is changing, it's moving, the three wheels on this is actually three wheels on the Wheel of Fortune. There's the past, the present, and the future, and this talks about them all coming into synchronicity to bring your shift into your life in the present. And so this is already starting to move here in your favor. And if on one of these wheels is actually the Hebrew letters of the name of God. And this energy in geometria, which is a mathematic principle, they would add numerical values to the letters. And when they put them in different combinations, they add up. The name of God, tetragrammaton, which is a sacred geometric symbol, adds up to very similar to the phi ratio, which is 1.618. And the phi ratio can be seen in the creation of everything on the planet, basically in nature. And this is talking about the perfect order of God's divinity. Everything that God makes follows this ratio. So a tornado and a hurricane, for instance, would follow what's called the golden spiral, and it's like boxes nesting, rectangular boxes basically nesting from smaller to larger, and they all fit perfectly in with each other, and they create a spiral. And you can see that, as I said, in hurricanes or tornadoes, in seashells, that kind of, in a lot of fruits and vegetables, and also the phi, or the golden ratio, as it's referred to, which represents like the number of branches on a tree, and the way that it's seen throughout nature, and it's a perfect order. And so this is talking about the Wheel of Fortune is manifesting for you in this fashion to put these nesting boxes in perfect order for you. You can see it in human faces. Like if you look at the distance between, your hairline and your eyebrows, and then from your eyebrows down to the bottom of your nose, and then from the bottom of your nose to your chin. Most people's faces follow, a similar pattern, not perfectly the same, but very similar. And you look at the size of a head on a person's body, to the upper body, to the lower body, and then even on the limbs, the upper limb to the lower limb, and then the hand or the foot, and then the fingers and the toes. So this is that perfect order in the universe and on Earth. And so this is now talking about total fulfillment here. Well, the beginning of it anyway. This is what many people consider to be the official marriage card of the tarot. It doesn't have to be, but it's representing marriage, commitment, and partnerships, basically. And what this card is saying is you've entered into this energy, and you are, basically it would be like you have the down payment for the castle, which is a huge accomplishment. And you also, but you're going to have to make the mortgage payments. And the energy is also like, maybe someone proposed and the answer was yes. And now you're working on the wedding, but then eventually you're going to have to work on your relationship in the marriage to keep it fulfilling. It's that kind of energy. You have to still pour your energy into this to keep it growing in fulfillment, to get ultimate fulfillment. And this also sometimes can represent your intuition speaking to you. And because we have, this is sometimes referred to, it's a synchronicity, and it's sitting on the wheel here, and on an energetic upgrade. So I feel like this is important for you to, maybe you're experiencing this, is there's a 11111 portal, that 11111 portal that this represents that we could be entering, especially if it's sitting on this synchronicity here. And so the 11111 portal is best described as this. You're sitting at your computer and you glance at the clock and it's 11:11, and then you remember, oh, I've got that meeting at 1:30. I better look it up. And so you Google it to find the address and how long is it going to take you to get there. And it's at 111 11th Avenue, and you're like, okay, and it's going to take you 11 minutes to get there. And so as you're walking out the door, you glance at the clock and it's 1:11, and you're like, okay, good, I have time. But then on the way, there's a short detour. But the vehicle in front of you has 111 on the license plate. And so when you start seeing this, it's the universe communicating to you, saying, be very careful of your thoughts right now, because you're manifesting at a very high level. And you want to keep your thoughts on where you're going, and getting there, rather than on the problems in being able to get there. So, and then you'll start noticing that whenever you're like, you'll start seeing 111 and 11:11 on the clock, on, addresses, etc. And you'll be like, wow, like when that happens, you'll realize, you know what, I was thinking, I was having a negative thought. So sometimes having negative thoughts can just be a bad habit that we have. And this is the universe correcting that, because you're manifesting off the vibration and the frequency that you're sending out. So if you're always worrying, then you're going to get more worry. But if you're manifesting like, oh, I can hardly wait to get there kind of energy, then your energy will be like, oh, I can hardly wait to get there. more of that. Yes, and because there's a reality check coming here. So the tower represents a reality check, and it's kind of talking about this energy here. So what it's saying is basically the universe will start whispering to you, like the 111, 1111. Pay attention to this. This you really need to, pay attention to this. But you don't. So then the universe gets the frying pan out and whacks you over the head, and you say, ouch, that hurt. Okay, well, do something about it. You need to take a look at this, but you don't. And so then the 2x4, nope, you still aren't looking at it. So then the lightning hits your turret on your castle. Your whole castle's on fire. Both people are falling out of it. One of them is really shocked, and the other one is kind of like, sheepish. Oh man, I thought this might happen. I should have dealt with this sooner. It's that kind of energy. And when the tower hits, it's never at an opportune time, never. And 6 months, maybe a year after the tower, you might be saying, oh, that was the best thing that could have happened for me. But you certainly are not saying it when you're in the middle of it. And this is saying that you're going to have to rebuild something. Something is just crumbling and being removed from your life because it's not benefiting you. And so, this 111, 11, 11 is the universe whispering at you, being, hey, you want to take a look at this. What are you thinking about right now? It's that kind of energy. So the reality check, when it comes in, quite often does turn out to be a blessing, because you were not in reality. And so if you weren't, eventually the truth will come out in any given situation. And it's basically, once the truth comes out, then you have to deal with it. And we have 3 of Cups here. So the 3 of Cups energy, I'm not surprised that it comes out on the Moon card here. This card, a lot of readers read this as a celebration, but what I notice about this card is no one's looking at each other. So they're celebrating something, an event or something that's happened, but they're not celebrating each other. And the cups represent love, and quite often romantic love. So why is there 3 people here and instead of 2? And the other thing is, like, if you, in a lot of cultures, if you toast someone and they don't look you in the eye, it can give you 7 years bad luck in your love life. And they really, in Europe in particular, they have a strong superstition around this. And so they freak out if you don't look them in the eye when you're toasting them. And so no one's looking each other in the eye. So whatever this is about, they're happy something happened, but it's not necessarily even involving them, if you understand what I mean. And this type of energy can represent gossip and slander and, low-flying witches coming out during the moon, the cycles of the moon. That's when this energy is at its height, and it's a sneaky energy of like, gossip, slander, happy that bad shift happens to people kind of energy, makes them feel bad, and they might even think that they caused it with their low-flying ways. So just, take it with a grain of salt. It could be a celebration, but I don't think they're celebrating you. They're celebrating something that they're happy happened. And then after this happens, there's all this opportunity coming in after this reality check here and this passion for new discovery. So this is awesome. This is saying each one of these cups has a gift in it. And so the universe is saying, now that you've straightened out the tower, you're ready for opportunity. And whatever was going on here, whatever illusion has now been looked into. So this passion for new discovery, there's some sort of secret or something that was going on, and people were talking about it. And now that you know the truth of what it is, because the tower hit, you are in a position now to have way more opportunities. And so each of these cups has a different gift in it. And these gifts are considered to be, they quite often will present themselves as challenges, but possibilities quite often are disguised as challenges, because the universe wants us to pour our own energy into this. So you're like essentially like a black hole here, sucking in all these opportunities. And just like a black hole, that means you're at the center of your universe, and you have to put your own spin on it, so that you choose which cups, in what order, and what you want to do with them, and you put your own special spin on it, and then it becomes something for you personally. And so that, and a lot of people are, well, I'm going to take them all at once because I don't want you to lose any. You don't need to. And these are destined for you. This is like, you're on your path now. This is meant for you. Judgment has been called. And it has something to do with, with this marriage card. That's why this energy bothers me, because there should only be 2 cups celebrating with each other, not 3. This can represent a third party involvement, maybe in your relationship that you have found out. And a woman scorned is a better detective than the FBI and the CIA together. So let's see, how does it turn out? It changes. Okay, so see the world. The Fool starts out in the major arcana at the 0 card, and then at he goes through the cycle. And however, like the Magician is actually the very first card, but the World is the very last card. And so this is saying that whatever this energy has happened here, judgment has been called, and this is representing the ancestors from across the veil are celebrating, yay, because they've been trying to connect with you through your intuition, probably in your dreams, and they like, they use technology like flashlights and stuff. You can usually tell if you have someone, a spirit around you that's doing that. You can tell because the lights will be kind of flashing, and there might be orbs around, and there also sometimes will be some cool air in the room. And so, but this is saying now the cycle's over, and you're actually, this cycle with I feel like with a person is over, and you're moving into a brand new energy that's going to be way more beneficial with you. And perhaps this is someone that you hadn't resolved things with and came in and said, let's get back together again. And you chose not to because they already showed you who they were the last time. Or you took them back in, and then you had to go through another gossip and slander session, and then judgment was called, and that cycle is over. Either way, the cycle is going to end with someone from the past. If you, I feel like that's the energy. But you might want closure, and sometimes the cycle ending could be that you're not angry with each other anymore. But quite often when people show you who they are the first time, you need to believe them, because a lot of times what they're showing you is exactly who they are. So this energy, from the bottom to the top, past to the present to going into the future, we have a hidden secret or illusion that people are gossiping about. And even one of these people might even be a third party, because of the energy here of the 3 cups. And we have the marriage card here. And in between, we have this tower. So, and a couple's falling out of the tower. And then we have this, after this happens, after this is revealed, the truth comes out, then new opportunities present themselves for you. And you're on a new cycle. This is talking about, because judgment was called by God in the spiritual realm, and it's come down to earth, and it had to do with commitment, a partnership, or your marriage. And the wheel now is turning in your favor in a different direction, so that you can enjoy what you're meant to enjoy. And the Magician here, as above, so below, is pointing to the tower, and then the opportunities coming. So this is what the magician was letting us know right from the beginning here. You see how he's pointing this way? So that he's saying there's going to be a tower, but don't worry, because after that, all of these new opportunities, this passion for discovery will come in. All right, well, I'm going to clarify now for those of you who want clarification. If you're leaving the reading now, thank you for your time and energy, and please do give it a like and comment if you enjoyed it. It really helps me build my my channel. Thank you. All right, so we're going to clarify with my oracle, Tales from the Vector, and this is something I started in 2007, and I've been working on this, off and on for years now. Completed the 64th painting in 2020. Some of them are very big paintings, like about 30 of the 64. They're of dragons from the future from the Intergalactic Federation of Light, and each painting has its own location in the planet or in the universe. And I am now getting ready to bring it out, but I have a lot of written information, but you may have noticed yourself that sometimes what's written on paper doesn't work out the same when you actually put it into action. So I'm playing with the cards a little bit, and then I will put the numbers on the cards here represent the numbers on the paintings as they're listed in the gallery on my website, talesfromthevector.com. The information will be in the description box, and I will put them in the order that that they appear here in the reading. So we do have the tower being confirmed here, and it has to do with this reconciliation energy, with this past energy. There's some sort of illusion here, and then that's kind of how the reading starts out, with also that there's some hidden secret or whatever. And like when the ancestors come out of their box here, that can represent Pandora's box being opened, or even like skeletons rolling out of the closet, basically. We have the Empress energy here on this here. So this is saying this is the energy that you're in. So you are a powerful manifester. And this energy is saying that, you are pregnant with possibilities. And this card can sometimes even represent that you might be pregnant or someone else might be pregnant. So if there's a threesome, that is something that, you would know or will be finding out. And then we have the transition. So the Death card is talking about a lot of people get afraid of the Death card, but it's actually talking about transition, and it's talking about one cycle ending and a new one beginning. And that's where, when the illusion, when you find out the truth about the illusion, that's what this passion for new discovery is. Then you're starting a new cycle, and it's like death and a rebirth. So you're ending one cycle and you're beginning another. And that's basically, it's saying that's what this reading is about. And then now it's going to tell the story of how this takes place. And so there's something to do with your pride here, or someone's pride. All or nothing, hear me roar. And so this is about trying to persuade someone by with using charming words, etc. It's all or nothing energy. Like an example of that would be like, sometimes you could go to a friend's house and it's either immaculate or it's a total disaster, but there's no in between. It's that no in between, so that people will go to extremes. And pride is a karmic space. And what do they say? Pride before the fall. And so indifference is another karmic space. And so, people will quite often say, we're all in it together, we're a work in progress. But then you find out, I'm married to this person and they're indifferent to my suffering. And so are maybe one of my friends here, because there's 3 of us instead of just 2. And so that's the kind of energy I'm picking up. And then the moon, yes, so this is saying that pay attention to the moon, and it's right on the tower. And this is actually saying pay attention to your intuition, because your intuition is very, way sharper right around the cycles of the moon, like the new moon and the full moon. And so it's saying there's some sort of hidden secret that's going to be coming out. And the universe has been trying to tell you, with this 11111 portal possibly, but now you know about it. You'll know, pay attention next time. You can't help it if you didn't know. We're all, you know, we are progress in motion. We're just not always in it all together. And so this is talking about reckless abandon. So when you discipline your mind, you are able to see the truth more easily, because you have to quiet your mind and go inward to feel for your intuition rather than think about it. And this is God's judgment was coming down for you to let you know, because this wasn't you were unaware. Maybe you were aware your intuition was telling you something, but you weren't wanting to believe it, or so you didn't do anything about it. And then it had to get to the point where it was so loud that you couldn't miss it. And so you had to deal with it. So judgment is just, it comes in from the spiritual realm. And so we have judgment on either side of this. But with that judgment then comes new opportunities for you and justice. And look at that. It's a 1-11-11-11. Really interesting energy. There we go. And you notice there's a lot of cards here that are in the vertical. My vertical cards are talking about, that's really strong energy. And the cards that are horizontal are representing a weakness or a need for some sort of, it would be like these are the maestros, and this is the medicine, or this is the issue, the problem. So yes, you're clearing karma and you're going to have justice, and you're going to be in this better cycle. And it does have something to do that has happened that I feel that this is saying someone that you gave another chance to. All right, please do like and comment if you have enjoyed this and received benefit from it. I really appreciate it. It helps me build my channel. Also, consider subscribing if you resonate with the energy. I would be honored if you did so. I will be back with some more random shift readings. I'm going to be working on the I'm trying to debate whether I should work on the full moon for April 1st or if I should work on the new or the beginning of April. So one of those two, I'll be doing all the zodiac signs for each sign. All right, bye for now.